So good. I swear I drink one of these every single day. I know they're terrible for me, but I can't help it. I'm so addicted to these. It's bad. It's really bad. Alright, so many of you guys have been asking me to make this video for a really long time. Here it is. We're talking about mastering today. Let's go.
EdTalenti on the beat.
What's up everyone? This is EdTalenti. How are you guys doing? Not really feeling the hat today. It's coming off. I don't know how much of it you guys can see in the shot, but things are happening. I'm basically rebuilding the whole studio from scratch, from the ground up. Specifically for YouTube, I bought a new lens, I bought new lights, I'm upgrading this whole channel, we're stepping it up for 2020. Things are about to get crazy. Right now it's just a bunch of boxes and clutter and stuff, so I'm not gonna show you anything, but it's coming really soon. Before we get into the tutorial, I wanna make a couple super quick disclaimers about mastering. First thing I wanna say is that I'm not a professional mastering engineer. Mastering, it's like an art form in and itself. There's people that build entire like $1 million studios just revolving around mastering. It requires a lot of gear, it requires a lot of experience, a lot of like practice and a lot of stuff. It's really hard to master something properly. Today I'm going to show you the method that I use for my own beats, for my own music, that I do it right here in my home studio. But if you do have the budget, if you do know somebody that has a mastering studio, hit them up. It's going to be worth the investment. I expect most of you guys to be producers just like I am, like beat makers. So we make beats every single day. And it would be absolutely unsustainable to hit up a mastering engineer every time, spend a bunch of money on it. It just doesn't make any sense. So that takes me to the second disclaimer of the video. This one comes with bad news and good news. What do we want to start with? Let's start with the bad news. The bad news is that the plugin that I use, it's not free. The good thing is that I wanted to hook you guys up, so I wrote an email to Izotope, the company that makes Ozone, which is the plugin that I use, and I asked them like, hey, can you guys give me like 2 copies of Ozone 9 so that I can give them away to my audience? They said yes. Thank you, Izotope. And today, right after the tutorial, which is going to be a really quick one, I'm going to tell you guys how to enter the giveaway and win those 2 copies. All right, I feel like I've been talking for way too long. Let's turn the camera around, get to the computer, and master a beat. Alright, I have my beat imported into Ableton. The plugin works exactly the same on any DAW that you have, so no worries if you're on a different one. It's going to be the same exact thing. Before we start mastering our beat, we want to make sure that we have our mixed version exported at around -60 beat. If you're still confused about mixing, the process of mixing, how to export your tracks and all that stuff, I'm going to link the video that I made about a month ago where I just mixed the beat beginning to end so you can see the whole process and hopefully clear any questions that you have. So you got your beat exported, -60 beat. It already sounds good because it's been mixed properly. Mastering is just going to bring it up to 0. It's going to make it punch harder and it's going to fix just a few things here and there. Alright, so we're going to open up our plugin, Ozone 9, and we're going to select like loop a part of the song that's like the loudest. Usually the chorus, when like the drop hits, when the drums, the 808, everything came in and it's just like nice and loud. That's the part that we want to loop. One of my favorite things about Ozone is that it has this button called Master Assistant. You just press it while the song is playing and it's going to analyze the audio wave and it's going to figure out a mastering chain that works pretty much perfectly for that beat that you have or song or whatever. When you click Master Assistant, you have a few settings. You have modern, vintage, a bunch of stuff. I usually keep it on modern. I do intensity medium generally, and I click CD. Once you got this ready to go, just press play, press next, and it's gonna do its thing. Alright, it's been about 30 seconds, it finished, and it built this mastering chain right here. Obviously, this is going to be different for any beat that you make because it's going to be shaped around your actual beat. So in this case, they put an EQ at the beginning with this pretty sharp curve, so we'll see if we want to keep it exactly like that. It put a dynamic EQ right after it, and then it put a maximizer, which is basically just a limiter. So the 2 EQs are working to clear up some of the frequencies in my mix to make it like sharper and cleaner. And the maximizer is basically just limiting the whole track and bringing it up to 0 from that -6 that we added at the beginning. I always turn on True Peak on my limiter and I pull up the ceiling a little bit, so it's right below 0. Right after that, I press the plus button and I add an imager. I put it before the limiter because you want the limiter to be the last thing on your chain. The imager just goes and works on the stereo image of your beat. So we're going to make some parts wider, some parts smaller. You'll see. The first thing I like to do is make everything below 200 Hz mono. So I set this bar right here to about 200 and I pulled this guy all the way down. So now everything below 200 Hz is mono. Now we have to adjust our mids and our highs. I usually just pull the highs like way up and I try to make them pretty wide. I'm going to solo them to listen to what I'm doing. Right about there is fine. And then I'm going to take my mids and make them just a little bit wider. You don't want to go too wide or it's going to lose some punchiness. And then the last thing I like to do on my imager is turn on the stereo button, which just kind of makes everything whiter, and I just like the way it sounds. Just like with everything with mixing and mastering, making beats, there's a certain component that's like right or wrong, but there's also a certain component that's like personal taste. So you kind of just have to like learn what you like and then do that. Another thing that I want to do is I want to go back on my limiter, pull down the threshold a bit. I just want to make it a little harder. And yeah, that's basically the whole process with Ozone. As you can see, it's like super fast, super easy. Now the last thing I do before I export my track is I make sure I click this button on and off and just make sure that everything works in mono. It sounds pretty good. I like it. I'm ready to export the track. Yeah, so that was my whole process for mastering. Really simple. Ozone works great. It's basically automatic. It's dope. For those of you guys who stuck around all the way here or just skipped to this part, here's how to enter the giveaway. So I put a direct link in the description. Just click that. It's going to take you to a page where it asks you to subscribe to my channel, to Izotope's channel, and follow us on Instagram as well. Once you're done with that, it's going to automatically redirect you to a Google form where you can put your name, put your email, and you'll be entered. So it's really simple. Just follow all the steps, get to the end of it, and you'll be in the giveaway. I will announce the winners. I don't know exactly when. It's gonna be in a little bit. Alright, that was it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell. I really appreciate all the support, and I can't wait to show you guys the new studio when it's gonna be done. If you have a question you want to ask privately, you just want to say hi, whatever it is, Instagram is the best place to do it. Just shoot me a DM, and as soon as I can, I'll respond to you. Alright, I guess this is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video all the way through. I'll see you next time, and as always, be positive, and positive things will happen.